All right, so we started out with an average egg, and I think when we measured it last, it was around almost 5.5 inches in circumference. The egg at the widest part, and it was just a normal egg. And remember, we put it in distilled vinegar, and it had been in there for about 3 days, and it grew to be a rubbery texture, and it grew to be about it grew an inch in diameter or in circumference. We measured around the biggest part. Now, after that part, I put it in corn syrup. So corn syrup is kind of sugar, liquid sugar, basically. And so I put it in this light corn syrup. And so I wanted you, after a day, I wanted you to kind of guess, what did you think was going to happen? So we had a rubbery egg, the shell was no longer around it, and so then we had kind of what would be kind of like a cell membrane on the outside of the egg now, and we put it in this solution of corn syrup. All that's in there is corn syrup, and we placed our egg in there. So now I'm going to dig our egg out, and hopefully you've guessed what's going to happen. And I can't even measure our egg anymore because I don't want to break it. But what you'll notice is now it's very flaccid. That means the skin isn't very tight anymore. It's very loose, and you'll notice now it's back to about the same size as our starting egg. All right, if I could measure it around, I'm afraid I might pop it, but you can tell sitting here in my hand, it's beginning to shrink. Okay, so after a day and the corn syrup, or maybe actually even 2, it's beginning to shrink, and it's very loose. So something is happening. Something is leaving across the membrane, is leaving the egg. All right, and so I'd like you to try and think about what that would be. What's going on? If this is likened to a cell membrane, what's going on? Why is our egg shrinking? And if I'm going to leave it, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in our corn syrup, and we're going to see if it shrinks any further. So you can make a guess. Further, if it shrinks any further, it may stop shrinking, but we're going to look at it again in another day or so and see. But in the meantime, I want you to think, besides the vinegar dissolving the eggshell, and what caused the egg to grow about an inch, and now putting that egg in the corn syrup, what has caused that egg to shrink about an inch? All right, and we'll see if it shrinks any further than that over the next few days.